So I'm going to give you a bit of the background as to why you would want to include video into your marketing message. And the main one of the ones that we talk about in our past netcasts that we do, or our webcasts that we do, are the consumption online. Consumption online right now is typically 31% of people who go online consume information written. So they just go online and read stuff. 69% is in a written, or is in the audiovisual world. So that's consuming it through YouTube, consuming it through like what we're doing today, webinars, so on and so forth. That is the vast majority. It's not a trend. This is the here and now and what's happening. The interesting thing about this, though, is where it's actually going. And in 2 years, Cisco predicts that 90% of the traffic online is going to be video. So if you have a static website that is strictly just information that is being written and stuff like that, you are going to be in such a small minority, your marketing message is never going to be heard, or rarely heard. And not only that is it not going to be heard, it's not going to be remembered. And I'll show you this in just 1 second. The aspect of recall when people take a look at things are written. People remember 10% of what they read. They remember 20% of what they hear. But when you have a compelling story with audiovisual content and graphics and such, people remember 80% of that. And one of the things that we start preaching is that if you do have a static web page where it's strictly just written information with no audio visuals out there so that people can't consume it that way, right off the bat, if you start with 100 people, 31 of those people will consume it that way. If you start applying the factors of the recall against it, basically 3.1 people remember out of 100 what your message is. That's all that you're actually targeting basically with that. If you have audiovisual content with a strong story, what you end up with is you start with 69 people and it goes down to 55.2 remembering your message if you apply that 80% factor. Scary thing on this thing is think about 2 years from now when you've got 10% of people consuming written and only remembering 10% of what they actually read. That's one person. One person out of 100 are going to remember your message. So big story here is that if you have a static website or brochureware or whatever you call it online, you are absolutely going to be missing the mark on a lot of this stuff. Not only that, think about 90% or 90 people out of 100 with an 80% recall is 70 plus people. Sorry, my math's not on today, but 70 plus people are not going to, or are going to remember your message compared to one. Phenomenal results. So this is why you want to actually start incorporating video into any of your marketing measures and stuff like that. So now I'm going to get into kind of the how-to. And this is kind of elementary, just take it from a very low level. How do I actually create a video? And the interesting thing is most people are connected enough right now that they can create a video. They have a handy cam, they have a flip camera, they have an iPhone, they have something that will actually record video. And one of the ones I use is a Kodak ZI-8, I believe is what it's called for a lot of the stuff that I record, because it's got a microphone jack. So I'm putting a bit of a plug in on that. Some of these flip cameras don't have microphone jacks, so the sound quality is not all that good. But the fact is that if you want to create a video, you know what? You've already got the stuff. You don't have to go out and buy $6,000-$7,000 cameras to do this. Chances are you've already got that information, or you've already got the mechanism for which to be able to do that. So that's one aspect of it, is using a handy cam to actually record video. If you create content, and that could be a PowerPoint, or that could be a document, or that could be whatever, there's ways to actually capture that information on your computer screen when you've got it, and you can talk to this. And if you want, you can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/sales tip a day, and there, I have a ton of videos where I've done PowerPoint presentations that I talk over, and that's how I do this. It's through a screen capture. And the one application is called Cam Studio, and I think it's camstudio.org is where you go. It's a free application and it runs on Windows. The other side is if you have a Mac, there's a couple that I use. One is called ScreenFlick and the other one's called iShowU. They're both they cost, but it's not a high cost. I believe it's anywhere from $20 to $40, and I prefer ScreenFlick because it's easier to use. But iShowU has a lot more functionality into it. So I mean that's just the way you do it. So this is how you capture images or video online. So you got the two things: Handycam, and then capturing video online. So that's kind of where you start from. And you know, how do you upload this to your computer? Well, if you already have the screen capture, it's already going to be recorded on your computer somewhere wherever you save it. So you've got that file that's sitting there. The other way is if you have a handy cam or you have a flip camera or anything like that, or an iPhone, it's a straight download right to your computer. iPhone will go straight through to iPhotos. And a lot of the other stuff, depending on what you're running, will go through to your desktop or whatever. So basically, you just have a way to plug it back in. So you start with the how to capture information, and then you just load it up to your computer. So zooming right along here, you know, a lot of things that you do, you can use the Handycam and this stuff to just load directly right up to YouTube if you have a YouTube account. And if you don't have a YouTube account, my recommendation would be go out, stake your claim, and get your name against a YouTube account so someone else can't take it from you. But, you know, if you want to get fancy, you can start getting into the editing. So once again, I'm going to put the caveat on this is that we're not showing you how to do stuff. I'm just kind of giving you the information so that you can figure this sort of stuff out. If you want help, you can always ping me at chris@salestipaday.com or kirsten@refreshedit.com. The editing software that comes with the two main computers, operating systems out there, are Windows Movie Maker and Imovie. So just for a second here, I'm just going to talk to the Windows Movie Maker. That's a free program that comes with any kind, all the versions of Windows that you end up getting. It's a great little program. And in fact, I used to use it quite a bit. I don't as much anymore. I'm more on the Mac side of things. But it is a great little program. You can put credits in the beginning. You can put pictures in. You can cut and you can overlay. You can do editing. You can do voiceovers. You do a whole bunch of different things with it. It's great, very easy and intuitive to use. The other side of it is on the Mac side is the iMovie. And iMovie ships with Macs if you have a Mac. The neat thing about iMovie is the same sort of thing. It's so simple to use. One of the neat things that I like about the latest version, which I'm not running, but I do have on my wife's computer and my son's computer, is the ability to put a green screen behind you and put an image behind you. So if you're actually marketing and you have something like your company logo or whatever, you can do a green screen effect behind it. And how you find out about that stuff is you just type help green screen, and they'll walk you through that process through iMovie. So anyways, these are the two editing softwares. So once you've shot your video, uploaded it to your computer, and then what you do is you import it into these and you start creating the credits, the information, everything that you want. And moving on from there is now you've got your movie made. And, you know, the content that you actually use is entirely up to you. I got a buddy, Brad Keating at Caden, and I don't know if he's online or not, but Brad he works with centrifuges, which basically it's in the oil and gas industry. And he demystifies some of the information on the centrifuges. And he's got these great little snippets that he does that he just uploads to YouTube and then adds to his newsletter, which, you know, I just love. But this is kind of, you know, create content. It doesn't have to be, you know, award-winning Martin Scorsese type stuff. In fact, if you watch any of my videos online, I swear to God, it looks like I had, you know, like I just basically don't know what I'm doing. They're getting better, I'll tell you that much. But you know, the fact is they you know, it's the message basically is what I try to convey. Kirsten's
Chris
smiling
doesn't know
there.
what he's doing.
Yeah,
He just doesn't.
I do. I got about 200 online, and you know, I get a lot of hits on them, which is great. Anyways, so what I'm going to do is you've got the content. Now, how do you upload this? As I say, go to YouTube is the first step where I would go, and create an account. So make sure that you stake your name on either your company or yourself or some variation of whatever it is that you want to convey. And then start uploading the video. And it's very easy. Across the top of the YouTube toolbar, when you pull up YouTube, there's a little button that says upload, and you click it. And what you see is this little yellow box that you see here. It says upload video or record straight from your webcam, and then basically, or you could drop that image or take that movie file and drop it into that little box, and it starts uploading. Depending on your speed and depending how big your movie is and what kind of quality you have, it takes some time for this thing to upload. Now, while these are uploading though, here's a recommendation, and you have to do this, is you have to put in a title, a description, and tags. Well, actually, in fact, you don't have to, but you won't get found, I guess, is the best way to do it. So the suggestion is put a very decent title in that conveys exactly what you're doing or what your product is or what you're trying to get across. As you see here, I've got a blank description and blank tags. I just brought this up so that you guys would actually see kind of what is showing. In the description part, here's a hint, and this is something that not a lot of people do. put in your web address first if you have a website that you can push people through, but go http:// and then your website, because it'll create a hyperlink straight through that people can actually go and click on to get through to your website. Because the idea is here, you're trying to push people through to contact you as well. When you put a description in, once again, put decent keywords or ways that people will find you in that description. And then once you put the tags, same sort of thing. Put words that are relevant to what it is that you're doing. Especially with YouTube, what they like is how to, and then whatever you're trying to do. Love how-to videos, and you'll get very decent page rankings on that thing. If these are all optimized properly, you stand a 53-time better chance of getting a first page ranking on Google than basically a written blog or anything like that. Last but not least, there's a category in here too. So make sure you tick the appropriate category. And sorry, actually not last but not least is the privacy side of things. So there's public, unlisted, and private. If you want the world to see everything that you're doing, make sure that you click that public button. If you don't want anyone to see it, but it can be brought through, you can click the unlisted. And if you want to make it private so that you only invite certain people to look at this, you have to click that private button. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, secondly, once your video is actually uploaded, then you're put through to a page which talks to further information that you can put in so that people can find you. And on the left-hand side here, hopefully it's the left-hand side I'm looking at on this, you have your descriptions and you have your tags in there. You see a whole bunch of little blue boxes there. It's kind of fuzzy. It's Hubble vision, but it is kind of fuzzy. Google actually, or YouTube actually makes recommendations thinking basically what you're trying to get at, and you can use those recommendations too. Below that, you see three little files with pictures. You can pick one of those as part of your display or how people see you online. Now, over to a little bit here, you see a map and a date. And what I do is I always click the date that I upload this thing, and I put Calgary in there. And the reason being is that if you're in a geographical area, this will show up if people are looking. I'm going to use my buddy James in Ottawa who sells flowers. Hopefully he's online here. If you put flowers in here or how to get wedding flowers or whatever and stuff like that, and Ottawa, then typically what's going to happen is your results will probably start showing up higher up in YouTube as well. Down the right-hand side on this other thing is it's just a bunch of different options you should be aware of when you're getting your video posted up there, and then click Save Changes. And then this way, you're live and you're on YouTube. So congratulations, you've created your content, you've downloaded it to your computer, you've edited it, and you've uploaded it to YouTube. So now you're a video star.